Okay, there seems to be a few times and a few instances I've tried to do things and something's gone a bit wrong. Okay, but this time I am determined that I'm going to do this video and nothing is going to stop me. Okay, I have a man downstairs blasting music out, but oh well, here goes. I feel like I want to be talking about the connections we have with angels and how you can connect yourself with these. I know this can seem quite hard, as when I started on my own path in 2010, it wasn't something I was looking for, to be truthful. I knew things was happening in my life. I've always had spirits around me. I've always had signs happening around me, but it wasn't as if I was looking for them. They were just, things would just happen, and that's where my life has been. But in 2010, I had to relive a part of my past which I didn't really want to relive, but it was there. I don't really want to discuss that here because it's something that's private to myself. But I had a time which my world was sent upside down, and through not dealing with past dramas in my life, which brought it back to the front, where I had to deal with it once and for all, and then it's gone, and it's gone forever now. That's it. I've dealt with it. I've moved on. I've forgiven. I've let go. But all this happened because of the angels that came to me in 2010. I believe that I was visited by one just at the brink where I felt like I was having a nervous breakdown. That is usually when they show themselves. They get so low that you think you can't get back out, and that's it. They show up. They're here, and they're letting you know that you're not alone. Don't have to deal with things by yourself. But then they start leaving you signs. Okay, the signs can be from little things. For myself, it's quite a big sign because I was getting the voices. They were talking to me, and I was hearing what they were saying. Do you know what I mean? It was not something that was, I thought I was going mad and getting these voices. It was pure evidence that there was somebody there was talking to me. Okay, so I started taking notice of these signs. These signs were, like I said, in my ears, they was talking to me at first. Okay, and as time went on, I started listening and moved out of the town I was living in and moved to a different town. And it wasn't when I got to this other town that I started getting lots of signs. And I mean, there was lots of signs. I know a few people on here already will already know this, but I was watching the TV programme. It was a wildlife programme, and about Hastings, of all places to be talking about. When I was living in Blackpool at that point, we was talking about Hastings, and showing all the countryside, all the nature, all the trees, everything looked magical. The whole place looked magical. Is that there was something here that I had to come to. I had to get here, and that's the first thought and the first thing that I saw. A few days later, I put the TV on again, and I was flicking through the channels, and there was something else there, Hastings. So I followed these signs, and then ended up moving up here with my friend Ashley. Okay, shut this flat with now. And from here, there's been lots and lots of signs. I mean, these are signs which nearly on a daily basis. First of all, when I was looking for a job, there was the most obvious signs I've ever seen. I went for one job. Didn't particularly want the job because that's what I'd done all my life, working in a call centre. That's all I'd done. I wanted something different. I knew that my life was changing, and something that I wanted to give out to be able to help people, not just on the telephone. I wanted to be in contact with people, personal contact, where I could put my own energy into things. Okay, so I went for this job. I didn't actually want the job. But now while I was on there, I got on the bus because I don't drive, so I got on public transport to go to this job interview. And then on the bus, there was another gentleman who started talking to me on the bus. I mean, I was stood up, and I was stood next to him, and we started a conversation going. And this conversation led on to the fact that his wife was the manager of a care home. And he said to me, was asking me about my accent and this and that, and I was explaining to him that I'd just moved there and I was looking for a job, a part-time job. And this one he brought up about the care home and his wife being a manager. I've never really thought about care work, to be truthful. I've never done that. I thought you had to have experience in that. I've got no experience whatsoever in looking after the elderly or disabled peoples. I just had the experience with my own children, because I've brought my own 3 children up, obviously. And he gave me his wife's business card for the home. I went home. And previously that, I'd just been applying for random jobs. I just wanted a job, any job. I just needed some money so we could live and pay bills and whatever. But anyway, so I applied for a care home before I went to that interview. And when I got back home from the interview, I got a telephone call to go for an interview the day after. I went for that interview, filled the application form, explained to the lady I've never done care work in my life, and she was asking me about my life, and I just explained that I've got 3 children, adults now, and I just wanted something different. I just wanted to do something different. Anyway, long story short, I got that job. I got it. But then I got home, and it wasn't a few days later again, going past, and I got another phone call. But this one I'd forgot I'd actually sent the application form in for this one. And this again was another care home. So I went for the job interview, really nice lady, but this was only a small home. It was more better for me because I'd never worked in care home before. The first care home I'd went to was like 50 residents, and I just thought that was a lot for me, but I've not worked in care home before in the past. I just thought it was a little bit scary. So this second care home was like a smaller care home. It was only 5. And it's for adults with learning disabilities. And I got that job. Anyway, I explained to the lady at this care home that I'd been offered another job at another care home around the corner. But I'd like to start on at hers. I'd like to be employed with her because hers was a smaller home for me to learn, to learn the roles, to learn what to do. And that was that. And all these these were signs. To me, these were signs, and that's what signs are. They come to you in your daily life. They come to you, you might apply for something, and you might not hear anything from it for a while, then all of a sudden you start getting things coming through. And it's not just signs, do you mean for you to go to the job or you're meant to do that job, because that is what it felt like to me. I'm meant to be doing care work, because that's the 3 times, one after another, I was hearing about care homes. So I took that sign and I took it. But then in your own life, you have to think, when you're going through your daily life and you're asking for questions and you're trying to find answers, the signs being given to you every single day. I can almost guarantee it that you're going through your day-to-day life and you're thinking that you're not getting any signs, and you are. Maybe you've applied for something, but it's not meant to be. But yet there's signs there that's telling you it's not meant to be, but you're just not seeing them. You're waiting for some sort of confirmation. Sometimes you don't get that confirmation. Sometimes you just get like, no, not this time. It's not quite the right time yet, and maybe just wait a bit longer. And these are, if you don't hear for something, then you know well. Just another for example is that recently I've applied. Well, I'm a new job now where I'm working. I've applied to do my manager wanted me to do the MVQ3, so I filled the form in, sent the form off, sent the birth certificate off. I had a letter to send me change of name papers in because I changed my surname, so I did that. I sent that back, and then I got another letter saying that they hadn't received my birth certificate. So I thought, alright, they received my form, but they haven't received my birth certificate. Well, that didn't make any sense to me, but I was taking it as a sign. So anyway, I rings them up, and the man on the phone says he hasn't received it, and I'm explaining that you must have received it because you've got the form there. The birth certificate was with the form. But he was adamant he's not received it, and then he says to me that if you don't send in another birth certificate, then I can't do the course. This was a few days ago. Okay, I went to work today and I spoke to the NVQ person, the learner person, and she rang them up, and now they're putting a trace onto my birth certificate to see where it's got to. Now, he advised the lady that their birth certificate, if it's found, will be back with me within 4 weeks. Well, I know full well that if that birth certificate doesn't come back to me within 4 weeks, then I'm not meant to do that course. Something's going to come up in the future. Maybe I'm going to move address. Maybe something, I don't know, maybe something's going to happen down the line which is going to move me away from this area. All I know is that if that birth certificate doesn't come back, I know by following the signs that I'm just not meant to do it. As simple as that. It says just not meant to be doing it. So when you're looking for signs, don't be looking for something that's thinks, oh, these are obvious signs. These are things what happen to you on your day-to-day life. I can't give an example with kids about, because my kids are older now. Wish I did. But there's lots of signs. You just got to get your eyes open, your ears open. Look for everything. Everything is a sign. Everything. It's not just a coincidence. It's a sign. There's no such thing as coincidences. These are signs given to you for you to help you on your life, and it's down to you to take notice of these, because your angels are most definitely there with you. There's no doubt about that whatsoever in my mind. It's been proven to me time and time and time again. There is just no doubt whatsoever. Finding out the name of your guide, a spirit guide. Okay, more time than not, this your spirit guide is actually a passed over relative. This guide can change many times throughout your life. Okay, it can be your uncle Joey one minute and then your aunt Sally the next. You know what I mean? It depends what you're going through in your life for that guide to come through. Also, you've got your higher self, your soul. This is also here to guide you. Do you mean this is the soul what's in this body? This body's got this brain, and the soul is here to help it along on its journey. So when people put down that to ask your higher self to meditate and ask your higher self, this again is listening to thoughts that come to you. You may not know the person of your guide. You may do, you may not. Sometimes they tell you, sometimes it's not even that relevant, really. I don't think it is anyway. I went through most of my time not knowing who my guides are, not knowing who's who and what's what. I just know they're there. Do you know what I mean? It's as simple as that. There's no need to actually be calling them by the name. You can just call them angel, you can call your guide, you can call your higher self, just by saying them 3 words, and they're there with you. I know a lot of people out there think that they should have names, but no, not necessarily. You know what the name is, your soul knows what the name is, but you've got to be open-minded enough to be able to hear, because the name might not make any sense. It might not even be an English name. It might be a foreign name. It might be some name you've never heard of before. But then because you're hearing this name, you're fobbing it off. Do you know what I mean? You're not believing that could be the name. So you're just fobbing it off and you're just leaving it. But whether you know the name or not, do you know what I mean? They can still be contacted. And no matter what you go through in your life, no matter what situations you go through, they're always there with you. But the only thing is that they need you to do is when you need help and you need guidance, you have to ask them. They cannot help you unless you ask them. I know we've all been in dodgy situations. I've been in a few myself, not for my own doing, of course, but through past relationships and childhood, things have gone on, and you think you're by yourself, but you're never by yourself. Just let me tell you, you're never ever by yourself. These are always there. I've recently started writing my own book. I didn't actually want to say this to a lot of people, but I've recently started writing my own book, and by writing this book, I've realised for how long these angels have actually been there. And me not actually just going through life and forgetting about these little situations. By writing them down, it's actually brought all the memories back, and I mean every single memory back of everything that's happened in my life. All the good things that the angels and spirits have said to me. Do you know what I mean? They've been there, and I know they've been there now. So don't ever think that you're by yourself. You're not. Never will be. The angel was assigned with you. angel guide was assigned with you when you was first born, and they'll be here till the day you pass away. Some people have got children, some people have got adults, some people have got spiritual teachers, depending on what path you're leading. But it's all such a brilliant life, because you just need to open yourself up to all that is there. You really would be amazed. Okay, I'm going to leave that for now. Thank you for watching.